Entrepreneurially Thinking is a presentation of BioSTL and CET, Center for Emerging Technologies, with Rare Gem Productions, changing the way you view new ventures, including you on the pathway to success with your business in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. Here's your hosts, Cheryl and Christy. Now let's get thinking entrepreneurially.
Welcome back to the Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast. Our goal is to energize your entrepreneurial mindset and create pathways for business success in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. I'm Christy Maxfield.
And I'm Dr. Cheryl Watkins-Moore, the lead of our Bioscience Entrepreneurial Inclusion Initiative with BioSTL. Hey, Christy.
How are you, dear?
Ooh, we are blazing through here.
We are, because it's hot as Hades outside.
Right.
And we're hot. Right?
We are
So combine that and it's just
forget
smoking.
the weather. We're hot.
We're smoking.
There you go.
And we're celebrating our 7th season.
Mm-hmm.
We are actually teed up to go through a whole nother 13 episodes for season 7. And before the year's out, we will have season 8 in the can. So we're really excited. We've got a full schedule of great guests, interviews, and new shows. And our listenership keeps growing thanks to all of you.
Whoop, whoop. To all you guys out there, thank you.
We're making an impact. And the only way we can make an impact is for you to share all the things you love about our podcast, and for you to take a moment with us to thank and acknowledge our founding sponsors, BioSTL and CET, for their renewed and continued support. Be sure to look out. Square One applications are opening, and they might already be in session by the time this episode airs, but there's always stuff going on at CET for Square One at BioSTL with regard to vision in the fall, and tons of other resources on their website. So please support our sponsors.
Yes.
We also encourage you to spread the word by sharing the episodes you love on social media.
Which are all of them, I know.
They are. It's hard to choose. Invite 5 friends to subscribe. Reach out to one of our guests. Tell them how much you enjoyed their contributions. And take a moment to help folks find us and subscribe on iTunes, Spreaker, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Yes. So today, if you guys don't know this, your marketing strategy is incomplete without digital. Even old school industries need to know how to maximize the dollars they spend online, from social media, content curation, and thought leadership to SEO, which is
search engine
optimization. Correct. Email campaigns, video, and more. And measuring the results of dollars and time spent on digital marketing is not only possible, but it is essential.
And it can be measured.
Yes, it can. So when we come back, we'll be speaking with a woman who knows this world of web marketing exceptionally well. She's been named one of the top 30 women in social media and a top 50 influencer in the areas of Facebook, Twitter, live streaming, Snapchat, and artificial intelligence at Social Media Marketing World. She's been published on Sprout Social, Agora, Pulse, PowerPost, and many other noteworthy marketing blogs. This is amazing.
She is amazing.
She is amazing. So we are so happy to have Steph-nissen. She's going to join us today on our show. So as I always say, and we always say, stay listening.
CET, the Center for Emerging Technologies, is a proud founding sponsor of this Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast. We want you to know all about the great things they are up to. Square One offers 2 training options. Square One Ignite, a 4-week program created to help founders quick start their business model validation process. Or Square One Bootcamp, an in-depth 10-week, 50-hour program that combines formal instruction with hands-on learning, networking, and mentoring. To learn more about Square One Bootcamp or Square One Ignite, visit CETSTL.com. And for your renewed and continuing support, CET, we say thank you.
Hey, this is Steph-Nissen. I'm Director of Digital and part owner at Atomic Revenue here in St. Louis. And entrepreneurially thinking means to me listening to the stories of entrepreneurs that came before you that are in the same space as you, but also finding your own path forward.
So joining us today is Steph-Nissen. She is Director of Digital at Atomic Revenue, and she manages the company's digital marketing programs, social media, web development, search engine optimization, content marketing, graphic design, and really is part of... Yeah, she's a busy lady.
Yeah.
She's selling and doing all the time. If you don't know, Atomic Revenue grows small and medium-sized businesses through what they have developed a new methodology called revenue operations. It's where lead generation, sales conversion, and customer loyalty are all combined, as opposed to how we sometimes do it these days, where we think marketing and sales and customer fulfillment are separate, and they're really not.
Right.
So when you put them all together, that creates revenue operations, and it aligns all parts of the business so that you can be more profitable. It's pretty freaking cool. Needless to say, Steph has a lot of experience in corporate America. She's worked with big brands like Toyota and TJMaxx. She's been a solo entrepreneur. She's now a part owner in Atomic Revenue. She's got 2 kids. She's a busy lady, and she's got all the accolades that you talked about.
Wow.
Without further ado, Steph.
Welcome.
Wow, I want to meet me. Like, I'm like super excited. I'm like, that's not me. Like, holy cow, I sound super cool.
Yeah, like I so want to be you when I grow up. I'm like, damn it, if I had only paid more attention to that social media stuff and that web development and that coding stuff. I still have time to learn, though.
There is plenty of time to learn. I'm still learning. It's one of those great things about digital is that it changes just week to week. Anybody who's been a business owner, entrepreneur, has a Facebook page, and we're fighting with the algorithm changed this week. Right. And so it's a constant learning process. And you can join us.
And I have to admit, because like y'all know, I wear different hats, and one of them is at Atomic Revenue. And so I get to work with Steph on a fairly regular basis, although I would love to spend more time with her.
Me too.
But I am also using that time. So like we talk a lot about how you use your current position to acquire new skills, bank some money. Like there's all sorts of ways to use where you are to prepare for where you want to be in the future. And so part of mine is like apprenticing in the like a shadow capacity where I'm like, oh, so how did you do that? Yeah. How did you do that? What does that report look like? Why did you tell them that? You know, asking lots of questions and doing what I'm pretty good at, which is mimicking, right? Behave as, and so following the leadership that she provides.
That's great, though.
Mimicking those behaviors and really learning by doing, like saying, okay, I understand the underlying principle. I see what the end product looks like. And now how can I start to do it, right?
Let's
and
do it together.
So we were actually having a conversation the other day, like, so what else could you be working on? I'm like, girl, I'm teachable.
Yes, that was great. That was the thing I asked you was, where can I plug you in? Where can we work together more? What do you want to learn?
Right.
Like, let's do it.
Like, yeah. So anyway, enough about me and Steph, but it's all about me and Steph.
It is.
And we'll bring you on into the fold. So Steph, we've said a lot about you already, but if you were telling your story to our listeners, where would you start the tale?
Yeah.
Actually, I would start mine back finishing high school. Actually, is where I would go.
Good.
So I will put the preface with this. I'm not from here. So when I moved here, though, everybody asked, "Where'd you go to high school?" And I was totally out of the loop. I didn't understand.
None of us are from here.
I was like Buena High School in Sierra Vista, Arizona, and they're like,
that doesn't count.
Where you don't belong here. Right. So I had to break into the St. Louis club and everything and earn my way in.
As you have.
Right. So I'm earning my way. But I grew up in a military family, so there's lots of moving around, so I can easily adapt. And that definitely plays into the social side of it as well. That definitely helps. But I actually grew up in, like I said, military family. I expected to join the Army. That was my whole goal. My whole life was I'm going to be a military officer. I did ROTC, JROTC. I actually applied to West Point Military Academy.
You were not playing.
This was it. This is what I wanted.
Why?
But I had a barrier.
Who was in the family that was the military?
My dad, my mom, my stepdad. We've come from a very big military family. So this is what we do.
Right.
But I have a barrier, a medical barrier. I'm actually deaf in my right ear completely.
Which I always forget.
Right. So I'm always like, I'm going to be weird for a minute. You have to walk like I have to walk passenger side of you. So, but that required that that was a barrier and I couldn't pass the medical exams. So then I went from, this was the whole plan to, what
do I do
now?
Yeah.
There was no backup plan. The military takes everybody. I didn't even realize I needed to have one, you know? So then I went to school for a year in Tucson and I was undecided. And then I jumped from being a math major to computer science major to what do I want to do? I've always done well in that arena, which, go figure. Now I like data and analytics and marketing, but I still tied it back. But I did that for a year. And I just kind of bounced and I had no vision, no direction for the future. So I've always been traveling as a military kid. My parents were divorced. I bounced around, between mom and dad. And so I became a flight attendant. I was like, let's do a 180. Let's just do something completely different.
Okay.
Well, this is what we have in common, because when I was in college, before I took my MCAT, I actually applied to Delta and was accepted as a stewardess the same time that my medical school acceptance came through. And guess what my mother said?
You're going to medical school.
Guess where you're going?
Yeah.
So did you go through with the flight?
And you would not suffer fools on a plane either.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So I was 19 years old and I went to work for American Eagle Airlines, and I think that they've gone through a name change since then, but the regional carrier for American. So I did that.
Wow.
And it was so exciting. And I was
That's what I
young.
thought it would be.
I was young and single. I had no
You get to meet
responsibilities.
people.
Let's go spend some time exploring while I kind of figure out where is my place going to be in the world.
Exits are.
Oh yeah, I'm good at that. You're not even supposed to use two fingers. They're very very strict on all fingers facing forward. I learned all kinds of stuff at flight attendant school. Yes.
Which now is all about emojis, right? It then becomes like flight attendant emojis. It all comes full circle.
Love it. Yes. So I did that for a while. I wound up meeting my now ex-husband. Everything was a pilot and started a family, but he was very supportive of me getting back to school because he knew that I was wasted. I had
more to give.
I had more to give. So then I went to school online. So we'd always been a big technology focused family. My dad focused on technology as a warrant officer in the Army.
Okay.
So we always had a computer. We were the first family on the block with a personal computer.
Cool.
And we had, iPads and tablets and, everything lying around the house. So my dad's very geeky and nerdy in that way. So I definitely get that from him. So I went to and worked on my associate's degree for visual communication for IT specifically.
Interesting.
And then after that went for a web development bachelor's degree, bachelor's of science in web development. So then it was, all right, now what do I do with this? I was using MySpace at the time when that was a big thing. Anybody remember that?
A long time ago,
So this is 2006, 2007 timeframe, graduating high school and getting into MySpace. And I taught myself how to use HTML and CSS coding languages because at that time, MySpace, if you knew a little bit of coding, you could completely destroy the layout and rebuild it to anything you wanted it to be. Wow. So that was my first taste of being an entrepreneur was I was teaching myself how to code and building these fun, funky layouts for my MySpace profile, and then my friends wanted it. So I would build them custom layouts and sell it.
We've heard a lot of
then
folks.
Their friends would, oh, you got to talk to Steph. Steph can build you one. Just tell her what you want.
Oh, that is very cool.
So I was doing that little thing on the side and then finishing up my degree.
Wait a minute. And MySpace didn't come after you going, what the hell are you doing?
It was a full-on business. There were companies that's what they did.
Wow.
You could go to an e-commerce website and purchase a layout, download the files and upload it.
Wow.
I wasn't that sophisticated. But
that's great.
Yeah. So, that was
found a way to monetize it. Right.
Absolutely. So, I hadn't quite finished my web development degree yet, and I went looking for internships.
Yeah.
I found myself, interviewing for a web dev internship in Chicago where I'd been living at, for a real estate company. And when I got there, I interviewed with the office manager and she's like, oh yeah, this will be great. We have our own web developer in the house, all this kind of stuff. I think you're great. Let's take you over to meet him. I was like, great. Wonderful. My first interview for an internship and I got it. All right, cool. Now I'm getting some direction. I'm going to learn some real world experience. Right. And we go over to meet him and he's like, I'm sure you're great, but I have no time to teach an intern. I had no idea that she was doing this. He's like, I didn't ask for an intern. I don't have time to teach you. Like I said, I'm sure you're wonderful, but I don't have time for you. Bye.
That's a huge disconnect.
Yeah, it was huge. I was like, whoa, some communication issues going down over here. But I needed an internship and I was like, maybe if I stick around and butter him up a little bit, he'll let me do some little things. So we had talked a little bit how I'd been doing social media stuff, for fun. And I was kind of getting well versed in that and that I was really interested in, working for a company and getting some experience in my belt. So she's like, well, we've got a marketing guy who comes in 3 days a week. Maybe you can come in the other 2 days that he's not here and you can just do his stuff when he's not here. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. Right. So it wound up, when you get an internship and you're looking for direction in life, you usually go all in right away I'm going to go all in and figure out if this is my spot. Well, I went all into marketing because that was the spot they put me in, and I realized how much I loved it. So like in 6 weeks.
So you had all these technical skills, and then you were able to capitalize on this opportunity and carve out
Absolutely.
a new lens, right? A lens that your formal education didn't necessarily put on.
Right. So my formal education, I wasn't using it and everything, but I knew how to speak the language.
I was going to say, it gave you the language to do, to understand those other applications of it.
Mid 2000s?
Yeah. So this was like 2008-ish,
and
right around there.
And this is when marketing was just starting to really
Social
creep
was
into
just becoming
exactly.
You know? So it was at the time when you could post something on your business Facebook page and your fans would actually see it. Like without having to pay for ads.
When.
Like, oh, the good old days. Yeah. So I just immersed myself into, I'm going to do this job the best I can. I was an unpaid intern and everything. So I was like, I need this to work. I need to find something that learn something and then go find something that pays me some money.
That's some of the things we tell people now. Sometimes you need to take these jobs that are unpaid. It's the greatest learning opportunity.
Tangential to where you want to be. Like if you had held out for the thing that fit some description that fit your formalized educational track, you never would have known all the things that were out there, right?
And if this guy had been
100%.
so welcoming, maybe the opportunity would have been so great.
Maybe I wouldn't be sitting here with you fine ladies today.
He's probably following you right now.
But oh my,
kicking yourself.
So, but like within 6 weeks of being there as the unpaid intern, then I got the paid position to be a marketing associate. The other guy left. Because
did you put him out of business?
I put him out of business because like I said, I was immersed. I was watching webinars and reading blogs, and I was like, I need to, if I'm going to do this job, I want to do it well. So, being a self-starter, being self-motivated, like, I'm going to do this.
You did it like you were getting paid.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, you get more out of it. Just because it's unpaid doesn't make it unvaluable.
That's a good point. That is a great point.
So
and this was when they could get away with not paying them. I'm just
Yeah. This is when, like, obviously, I wasn't getting college credit and everything. This was totally wrong. This was, nobody does this now because they get in trouble, for that kind of stuff. So, slave labor, sweat workshop kind of style here. But hey, it paid off in the end. So 6 weeks later, I was the marketing associate. The company I was at, this real estate firm, I was running social and blogging and, looking for all these opportunities in digital, but also just general print marketing and all those things is still a thing, especially in real estate.
Both and.
All together. And then went from doing that to then I was filling in for the office manager, when she was on vacation. I was like, how did I get from web dev to now I'm running this luxury real estate office?
Wow.
I haven't even finished my degree yet. Not that it's relevant, but I feel like I'm a little under.
Missed something.
Right. We missed a step in here. I was there for about 9 months and then kind of got not headhunted. I don't know if that's the right word, but someone reached out to me. I got poached by someone else that I met through that company at some of the different events that they were doing, who was running a big e-commerce company who said, I think you're being wasted.
Ooh.
I love when people see potential and act on it.
I think that there's more for you here, and I want to give you the space to do it. And I was like, whoa. So it went from that to 9 months ago, I was an unpaid intern, to now I'm taking the director of marketing position for this e-commerce company. And he gave me, I was not even finished with my degree. It was in my early 20s and gave me a salary and an office downtown Chicago.
Wow.
I was like, what just happened?
Say, I've just arrived.
Right. And it was a really amazing leap. And I learned a ton, being in there.
Yeah.
And I loved it. But right in that time, I got pregnant with my daughter now. So now I'm looking for, how can I do what I love, but do it from home and be a mom?
Okay.
So now we're looking for, is there a side hustle that I can add on? Can I get them to let me work from home?
Interesting.
And if you're doing digital.
Right. And that was the thing. It was like, all I need is a strong Wi-Fi connection and I'm good.
Exactly.
And on that cliffhanger,
yep,
we'll be right back.
BioSTL is a proud founding sponsor of this entrepreneurially thinking podcast, and we want you to know all about the great things they are up to. BioSTL Fundamentals is an entrepreneur development program targeted to founders wishing to start a company in the bioscience space, including therapeutic products, diagnostic products, medical devices, animal and crop agriculture products, and research tools. Participants earn resources by achieving specific coaching goals. You can learn more about BioSTL Fundamentals by visiting biostl.org. And for your renewed and continuing support, BioSTL, we say thank you.
Okay, we left with the cliffhanger of is there a side hustle?
Right.
And so, new baby on the way, director of marketing, and now how do I combine parenthood?
How do I be mom? Right. How can I put family first?
Right.
What we're doing. It'd been, a goal. We'd been trying to have children for a while and it hadn't happened yet. So this was like my miracle baby. So it was really exciting, but it was, I don't want to miss it.
Right.
I want to be there for it. So I actually took the real estate company I'd been at, didn't want to let me go when I got poached, as we said. And so I took them on as a side project and everything, where I was still helping them manage some of the digital aspects, doing some social media, doing some content, but not just for the company, but also doing it for a couple of the individual realtors in the office who are building personal brands, because they're all their own within
it's a whole interesting
right. So they had 20 agents within their company. So I was working with a couple of them individually or providing just some support and training kind of thing. And I was
that's a nice mix, because with these it's like individual businesses under a huge umbrella that you're also managing as well. So you get to control the message in a manner. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I can find the way across the path that we can support each other.
Exactly.
Let's get you featured on the company's blog. Let's write a piece of content from you, and feature it here. And let's share this content over to your personal network.
Promoting,
Absolutely. So, it really worked really well there for me. And then when we were getting closer and closer to due date time and I'm going to be on maternity leave, I found opportunities within my salary, my full-time job, where they was like, let's work from home a little bit. So I was doing that. But then it was getting to be a point where people would ask me, or I'd get a friend or family member who was like, do you understand how this works? You do a lot of this, right? Right. Can you help me with that? Can I get a friends and family discount?
Right.
Right. Which is, but in the beginning it was,
it's where we all start.
Right. We all start there. And a lot of people try to jump to, well, my time is worth $300 an hour, but I'll give you a discount, $250. This is what I'm going to do for you. But no, you do it at the beginning where you donate your time. You help out somebody. Let them pay you in pizza or beer. Just like you would like friends who come over and help you move. This is what I can contribute.
But that's what I'm saying. You get an opportunity to learn so much, because marketing. I've taught marketing. I do marketing. I've done marketing. And I tell people all the time, marketing, no matter what industry you're in, the principles still follow.
Absolutely.
So if you can market a medical device as well as a tire iron if you're good at doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. And so then, I got to do a lot of really cool things with different, friends and family that were coming my way. So now I was doing real estate. We were doing this e-commerce, like business opportunities and franchisee opportunities. Wow. And then it was like a friend who owned an antique shop, and like all these other random things that don't connect to each other, but like you said, the foundation, the principles are the same, the process is the same, and everything. We're just going to craft the message a little bit differently. We're going to talk to different people in a different tone of voice, but we're using the same process.
But I think it's really interesting, because you probably brought, especially with the larger companies that you were working with, they were used to probably traditional marketing, efforts, like you talked about, advertising, print advertising or whatever. Now you're taking them into a whole different media, which a lot of these people were not even aware of, or how to manage it, or what the hell is this all about? And a lot of times, if you don't know it, you choose not to be involved, but that hurts your business.
100%. 100%.
Well, and that's why when we say old school still need it, I know a lot of the work that Steph does now is with manufacturers and other industries where the methods and strategies for how to leverage digital. The B2B strategies are different from the B2C strategies. The where you think you need to be versus where you really need to be. And then what the heck do you do with them when you get their attention anyway? Right. You know, so.
Or how do you capture, how do you even know you've got their attention? Because
she knows.
Yes. Because the old way to do it was how many eyeballs are on an ad, right? Right. That's
totally the old way to do it was likes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The old way to do it was like, the old way was, you know, the guy standing on the side of the road counting how many cars passed the billboard, you know, and
oh, God bless.
Right. I don't want to be that guy.
I know. Like, that doesn't even mean they looked at it.
Right. Like, you know, the potential reach, you know, was this, you know, and
so
it's amazing.
You like, so that transitioned into the Nissen Media?
Right. So that then transitioned to, I left the full-time job so I could be home. I didn't come back from maternity leave essentially. And I was like, you know what, I can, if you'd like me to, I can do some support while you put somebody in place, but I know I can do this from home. Yep. I know that strong Wi-Fi connection and a cup of coffee, I'm good to go. Like, so that's what we went to, was I'm going to do this leap of faith and figure this out by doing, you know, and that's the scariest part for a lot of entrepreneurs that I've talked to is really I can't let go of my safety net. I know this income is coming in, you know, I believe in what I'm doing, but not enough.
But the safety net also gave you the confidence to believe, right? You didn't just, we also talked to folks, it's like, please don't quit your day job.
Oh God, no.
Use your day job, leverage your day job.
Yes.
Figure out how to have stepping stones. Because I've done it both ways. I've done the quit, go without pay.
Right.
I don't recommend it.
Right.
And I
still have responsibilities.
And I've leveraged my existing position to create new opportunities and bring in, you know, open up the door so that I could work with other clients. So, you know, I think that, and then there's that leap of faith. Like, can I really do it? Will this really work?
I was going to say, and if it doesn't work, you've gained a lot of experience that can go forward to help you find new
another full-time gig.
Absolutely. So it's not wasted. It's not wasted.
Can't order now.
Right.
I love you. But yeah, so then it went to, all right, I'm just going to do this side hustle thing. I went through like LegalZoom and registered an LLC. Like that was like, that's the way I went.
Hey, there's no wrong way.
No, no, I totally get it.
There's no wrong way.
She's giving me looks though. So she says that.
There are other ways to also make sure you got all the paperwork in place. That's the important thing.
Right. So
it's
that's
all about
like,
the part.
That's what I went with. I was very, all right.
And if they want to sponsor, then I can stop giving looks. Right.
I love it. I love it. Yes, there are lots of ways, but that's the way that I used. And I, you know, got an LLC, and I was just doing little side things.
You're a single member. Nothing, no harm, no foul.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. I feel better.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I still, at this point, I've still not finished that degree yet.
Hey,
I'm still like,
you know what? It did what it needed to do for you, right?
You got the degree at that point, of experience.
Right. So, but I did actually finish it and everything. So that was 2014 in September. I finished that degree. Like I basically finished it like September 1st, and then September 2nd, when I didn't have school to deal with, I was like, all right, all in.
All right.
This is it. Make it happen. Woo. So that was September 2014. I had Nissen Media, and I was doing primarily social media marketing for small businesses. That was my forte, and that was where I was hanging out. But everything I had learned had been anything I could find on Google, you know, or learn by doing, or this is what feels right. A lot of instinct of this is how I use it as a personal user. I wouldn't imagine that it should be any different from a business perspective, that I would still talk to people like they're humans, right? You know, and just be me. But it's amazing how much you have to teach people that now. But that was in my mind, that was the most logical sense. Like, this is how you're supposed to do it. And it's, like I said, amazing that you have to teach people how to be human beings on social media.
But that's what the algorithms want.
Well, right. Like, yeah, I want you to be a human person. And we're going to test that through our algorithm if you're human.
I am not a robot.
Right. So then it was just, I mean, I just hustled hard. Really what it came down to. I was attending any in-person networking events that I could get to, which I've talked to anybody who wants to explore digital for their business. It's always, well, all right, Facebook, and, you know, I'm going to write a blog, and I'm going to have a great website. And it's like, well, if you want a digital business, the people who need you not already there.
Right.
So getting up front, getting in person with somebody and then explaining, I help you take your business, not just online, but offline, and find that connection between the two.
Right.
I am not an advocate of just sit at your computer, stay on your phone, and this is where you live. I attend conferences. I speak at conferences. Like I get to know people. Right. This crazy notion of, we're humans.
You actually check the box of I am not a robot.
Right. Yes. So, and then it was 6 months later that I got on that list for top 30 women in social media as one to watch. And everything.
That's
and I was like,
phenomenal.
Whoa. Like that was by the amazing Kim Garst and everything. And so if you're familiar with the social media space, Kim Garst is the social selling queen. She is like Forbes top 10 influencer and selling like constantly, like at the top of her game. Right. And just the one that if you're learning, this is the woman you look up to.
Okay.
So fast forward to current.
Yep.
How are you helping businesses? What are you doing? How are you integrating data into that?
Right.
What are you doing?
Absolutely. So we went from, I'm going to focus on social to now looking at marketing and looking at digital as an all-encompassing thing. That really digital is not just marketing. Digital is sales. Digital is customer experience.
It's conversion, it's loyalty, it's referrals, it's all of the above. And delivery for some companies.
Digital is a foundation and everything that all of these pieces live on. We are using digital for, project management. We're using digital for learning. We're using digital for all the things that we do within our company. QuickBooks, it's digital. It's something you log into. It's something that you need, anything that you need your Wi-Fi for, anything that you're using a piece of technology, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, that's all digital now. So when I was doing my own thing, doing my own company, and then got introduced to Tara Kinney, who's a CEO at Atomic Revenue, and I got introduced to her, it was very exciting because I was going to be able to take what I had been learning and hustling hard about and what I was trying to do here and actually apply it to businesses that were ready to look at everything.
Right.
And not just let me look at your Facebook page because I can use your Facebook page and we can drive traffic. We can do all kinds of things. But if the rest of the process is either non-existent or broken, I can't fix your broken, or disconnected. I can't fix your broken reputation with a great Facebook page. Right. I can't fix the fact that there's no draw for your product with a Facebook page. I can't create demand and interest in something that there's no market for. So now I take those pieces that I've learned and, taught and then absorb from people like Kim, like anyone else I've met along the way, then I now apply it to what I'm doing with these companies now, where we're looking at, you can talk to me about Facebook, but I'm also going to ask you about your website and your CRM and your email marketing. And we're going to talk about PPC. We're going to talk about video. We're going to talk about
LinkedIn selling.
Yes. I love LinkedIn. But we're going to talk about all those pieces because they are one piece of a much bigger picture. So,
and then you're measuring all of it.
Absolutely.
Which kind of freaks people out, particularly marketers and salespeople who a lot of it's, I've been on both sides of that table.
Yes.
Being able to influence the way people think and behave can feel very squishy. I believe that's a technical term.
100% technical term. I used it yesterday.
Thank you. And that, how do I know that this thing I did over here in March actually resulted in this behavior over here in July, right? And I have to do those things regardless of whether or not I know there's a direct correlation between the activity A and action B, right? But what you're discovering, what the landscape is discovering is because everything's on a digital platform and digital platforms are numeric and algorithms are formulas and all of these things, right? That there are ways to reduce the squishiness, right? To empower marketers, right? So that scary thing of you can't hold me responsible for action A 3 months later from this thing I did as part of our campaign is now less squishy and measurable and can really empower them to be more strategic.
I was going to say, and your marketing can be more personalized now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, we're running into, with personalization, we're running into these issues now of I want you to be personal with me, but I don't want you to have my data. So it's like, I can't give you a personalized experience if you won't talk to me, and share your information with me. So it's a really
lots of
squishy and difficult landscape right now, like with GDPR and everything and that spilling out into everything that's going on here. So
Okay, what's GDPR for people who don't know what that means?
So GDPR is now this regulation that's come out through the EU, European Union, about what data you are allowed to collect on people and what permissions you have. And, you have to be very forthcoming with
so it's why your privacy policy and your cookies notification has gone out like
when your email inbox at the end of May, when every single day you opened your email and it was like, we've updated our privacy policy.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Every company was sending them out in May.
Right. And they were asking you to opt back into their list if they couldn't tell what country you were from originally.
And so it's all about being able to be in compliance and how the world is negotiating
with
those
Europe, though.
Very gray lines.
Right. So it's starting in Europe, but a lot of the companies,
got to be compliant.
Right. We got to be compliant. Yeah. A lot of companies are global, or their goal is to go global. Right. So these are things that
digital.
Even if it's digital. So even if you are not currently doing business with the EU, but it's on it's on our framework, and our roadmap that we're going to expand and go global, you have to be aware of all those things that are going on in the world. So you cannot live, alone in your hut.
Right.
Off the grid.
So what are the challenges like when you are working with businesses, when they engage you? What are some of the challenges that you see that they have? How do you overcome them? Especially for these businesses that might not be tied in totally or interlinked on the social side.
Yeah. So a lot of the problems that I usually get called in for are we need leads. That's ultimately like the biggest thing that people come to me for is I need leads. Right. And someone told me I needed a Snapchat account. So can you help me with that? I need, someone told me that Instagram was a thing, or I went to this. Instagram. Yeah, it's Instagram. It's some random account that, my son, I hear this a lot. My daughter told me I need to have this. My daughter set me up with an Instagram account. Now, how do I use it for business? Right. And I'm like, okay, so what do you do? And everything. I manufacture whatever, this widget. Right. And I'm like,
I don't think your folks
we're chilling out on Instagram, unless your company is large enough that we're building like a company culture. We're going to use hiring. All right. You're trying to attract somebody for that purpose. Right. Got it. Okay. We can have an Instagram account, but you and your widget, that only sells to this very specific, super niche market. Like we're not using social media in a traditional, posting to your Facebook wall and we're going to do Instagram stories sense. Like we're looking at LinkedIn. And we're going to be very deliberate with our, connections that we make. What's going to, people are always looking for the easy way out. What can I automate? What can I hire at some high school kid to schedule posts through Buffer, Hootsuite, Agorapulse, any of them? Right. What can I schedule content through that I don't have to touch it and they're just going to send me leads? Right. I'm like, that's not the way the world works. Like, think about the way that you purchase. Do you purchase based on some random Facebook post you saw?
Exactly.
You think, no, you don't. And it's, everybody talks about, people buy from those they like, no trust. And very rarely it actually gets attributed back to Bob Berg, who was the man who said that. People buy from businesses they like, no trust. And it's people buy from people. Right. Is the ultimate thing. So yes, social media absolutely can get you the leads you want. It can help you build those relationships that will, come to fruition over time. But people are looking for a quick win usually when they're coming to me, and I'm going to tell them no. Right. That social media is a marathon, not a sprint, and it takes time. I'm not going to buy from you. Like, this is not the door-to-door salesman kind of thing. I'm looking for, we're going to build a solid foundation. We're going to look at, just because it's something somebody told you you're supposed to do doesn't mean you need to do it.
Right. It has to be right for you and your business.
It has to be right for you and your business. It has to be right for who you're trying to talk to, what you're selling, and what do you have the capacity to do?
Well, see, I think that's very different from a lot of consultants who go in there to sell. What you're doing is not only you're bringing value by saying, not only what you need, but what you don't need.
Absolutely.
And then how do you utilize what you're doing to help that person sell more widgets, right?
Absolutely. Right. So it's super important to not just sell somebody because I need to make my commission this week, but I need to sell you not what you want, but what you need.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm here to help you grow your business. So whether that's generating leads, improving your sales conversion rates, increasing customer loyalty so that you get some more referrals. Right. However it is that you build business, but then looking at how digital then supports those areas. So, and I've done that before where actually I have a meeting with a potential client later this week where we sent them a proposal for what they, after a couple of discussions, send them a proposal for let's do a digital audit and look at, foundation. Here's what we have. Here's what we need to fix. Here are the opportunities. And then let's build out a full blown, strategy of how we're going to do this. And he came back and he was like, this all sounds really good, but I think I just want a social media strategy. Let's just start with this one piece and then we'll add it on as we go. And I literally sent it back and went, no, like I would love to be able to do that for you. But, really came down to like, they have 3 different websites, 3 different brands, and none of them are mobile friendly. Like first thing.
Right.
So social media traffic is primarily mobile. So I can send no traffic to these 3 websites because it won't render on anybody's device. So that's a barrier.
Coming before analysis.
Right.
Coming before
we
fixing.
have to figure out, we have to analyze what's going on here to know where we're starting from. You can tell me something, but when I Google you, I'm going to find out.
Right. And that's the benefit. I mean, because you could set them up on anything. They can start to see something, but they don't understand the underlying, how all these pieces fit together to make their businesses more optimal.
So we're pushing our limit on our time with our listeners, and we know you've stayed with us the whole time, and we're very thankful for that. But what I hope you take away from Steph's piece is her personal journey, right? So as you're trying to figure out who you want to be, what you want to do, where you're going to go, hugely. We could spend weeks talking to her about social media.
We might have to bring her back.
Maybe we'll have to do a special segment.
We'll have to bring you back.
From a resource and development perspective, right? But we love to feature the stories of our entrepreneurs.
Or bring you back with one of your customers.
Oh, okay. You're done. You get to schedule that one. Okay. Awesome.
I love it.
No, that one's...
Yes, that would be so cool.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Great.
But before we go, if somebody's listening to this and getting excited about the work you're doing today and the way you're helping businesses, large and small, grow,
right?
Where should they find you? How should they get connected?
How does your social media work?
How does my social work? So, I'm on every social platform.
What would you prefer?
What would I prefer? So, I usually tell people to come find me on Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter is my #1 platform. So you can find me at steph-nissen and then a little underscore at the end. So I know that's not the standard username. So if you want to ask me the story behind that, somebody can come tweet me and ask me why I have an underscore.
Yeah,
I like that. The cliffhanger.
Yeah. But you can find me that same username on Instagram. You can find me Steph Nissen on LinkedIn. I've got a Facebook page, of course, or just reach out through atomicrevenue.com. My contact info is there.
Wonderful.
You can get connected to me. Text me. I'm pretty social. We can pretty extroverted. So whatever way works for you. I know.
So shy.
I'm the worst.
So what I'm hearing here is if you want to learn more about Steph's personal story, the story behind the underscore at the end of the name, what it means to make social media less squishy, more measurable and actionable, and become a marketing powerhouse.
And get your business
as a practitioner
to grow.
And as an owner and as a consumer, all of the above. And you want to figure out how you use that kind of platform to integrate all the work you're doing to generate leads, convert sales, and make customers happy.
Money.
You probably need to reach out to Steph.
Right. Profit.
Absolutely.
Right?
You be speaking my love language.
All right. So somebody reach out and touch her and be nice about it because she's one of our people and we love her just like we love you. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And thank you,
guys
Steph,
so
for being
much.
with us.
This is wonderful.
So fun.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Changing the way you view new ventures, igniting your thinking about entrepreneurship. It's entrepreneurially thinking. Get connected and discover more. Visit our website for show notes, resources, information about our guests, upcoming events, and of course, all your favorite episodes. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them for us in the comment sections and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The best way to show love is to share. Let everybody know that you're thinking entrepreneurially. So visit our website, entrepreneuriallythinking.com. #ETHINKSTL. Entrepreneurially Thinking is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions. Thanks for listening.